We begin with a promise by President Trump to crack down on underage vaping. Good evening. This is News Channel 11 at 11 o'clock. I'm Josh Smith.
And I'm Sarah Diamond. A surge in e-cigarette use and a rise in deaths and illnesses linked to it. 6 deaths now connected to a growing public health crisis, by some tied to vaping.
The Centers for Disease Control says it's looking at more than 450 cases of vaping-related illness across the country. President Trump said the Food and Drug Administration is now developing guidelines to ban flavored e-cigarettes.
But what does this mean for vape shops who sell flavored products? Ansley Daniels spoke with the Tri-Cities vape shop owner and has tonight's top story at 11.
Earlier Wednesday, President Trump announced his administration would propose a ban on flavorings used in e-cigarettes.
A lot of people think vaping is wonderful, it's great. It's really not wonderful.
This comes after state and federal health officials are investigating hundreds of lung disease illnesses reported in people who have used e-cigarettes and other vaping devices.
An entire generation of children risk becoming addicted to nicotine because of the attractiveness, appealability, and availability of these vaping products.
The CDC even released a statement tonight saying, in part, this is an important step in response to the epidemic of e-cigarette use among our nation's youth. It goes on to say we must do everything we can to reduce the use of e-cigarettes among middle and high school students. David Nelson owns Rocky Top Vapor, which has several Tri-Cities locations. Nelson says most of his product is flavored e-liquids.
In our business, 95% of what we sell is flavored products to adults.
Nelson, who sells more than 100 flavors, says this potential ban could mean bad news for his bottom line and 40 employees across 5 stores.
It would almost certainly force us to go out of business without the availability of products.
Most of his customers are between 35 and 55 years old and have turned to vaping to quit smoking cigarettes.
You're basically telling the 10 million people that vape and got off of smoking that they're not important.
Jonathan Wendell vapes for that very reason.
It actually does help a lot of people actually migrate away from regular cigarettes and other tobacco products like that.
Nelson says the positives that have come from his business are being ignored.
That's pretty sad that it's hurting small businesses, mom and pop shops that found a product that helped people, and now they're going to be forced out from government overreach.
Nelson is a part of several advocacy groups and legislation for e-cigarette use. He was already planning a trip to the nation's capital next week with the Vapor Technology Association. He says this potential ban will shift the conversations on his trip. Josh, Sarah.